Okay, so let me just create things now. So we will be actually following a few things here. One second. Okay, fine. So we are going to see the list view, right, with multi controls, right. Basically, this means like everything we have to create in our own, right. So we'll be following the following steps in order to create this, and this list view which we are going to see, right, in multi controls will be the way, I mean the pattern will be same for everything. It can be a grid view or a spinner with multiple controls or anything where you want to embed multiple things like in one entity, right, in one row or one cell. If you want to embed multiple controls, so this is a pattern which we are going to follow, right. Let's fix the steps so that we can actually follow the steps as such, right. Now the first step will be, so we'll be creating a mother activity, right, where the main list view will be shown, right. So anyways, this will be creating, right. And second thing is we'll be creating a custom layout. Basically it's an activity, right, and this custom activity will contain all the controls which you want to show in one cell, right. Let's say you want to show one checkbox, right, and a text view, let's say, right, text view in one cell of a list view, let's say, right. So this text view is, let's take it as a maybe a fruit, right, and you have a checkbox, so to select which fruit you want to select, right. I'm just taking the same example which you guys are going to work on, right. So this custom activity will have only two controls which we are going to take up these two, and we are going to use this control to create an adapter, right. So this is next step. And the third step is, so we have to go to mother activity class. So let me take it as main class, and in this main class we have to do the following things. First thing, we have to create a separate class inside that which can hold right, data pertaining to these things, right. Which means if you have multiple controls, let's say it's a checkbox, you have a text view, you have one more text view, one more control, right, which means this class can have each and every data holder part. So let us call as a holder class, right. So once this holder class is done, then second thing is we have to create an custom adapter. So till now what we have seen is we have seen some adapter of direct of type string or some other data types, right. So we are going to create a custom adapter which can actually get an object of this folder class, right. So that is a custom adapter. Now once you are done with custom adapter, so we will set so we will actually, in third step, we will actually set adapter to our list view. So these are the things which are going to take up, and so in place of list view, we can replace any control which is capable of getting your adapter, right. So it holds good for everything. Yes, Anya?
It's going to be a dynamic list or for giving the data?
No, it can be, it will be a dynamic list. Yes, you're right. Yeah, we're going to create a dynamic list. So as of now, we'll just fill this data, as I said, right, we're going to create an adapter. Let me just create some static, but yes, that static array list, whatever we are going to create, right, we can make it dynamic, right.
Okay.
You can get it from database from anywhere, and you can actually make that array list dynamic as such as you want, right. Okay, so let's go back here. Let me create those layouts. So let me create a new activity. So let me call it as multi-list activity. Finish. So this will be the mother activity, right. So let me just take one list view here, remove this part, So go to composite, drag and drop your list view here, and just arrange it so that it will actually fill up. Okay. So you can just go ahead and say match parent instead of that. Let's say fill parent here, and you have your fill parent here. Okay. So let me give this list view as my list something ID. Okay. Now this is a mother activity as such. Now let me create one more activity, which is our second step. Right. So this will be, let's say it is make it as some source list activity. Right. So we are going to actually, or let me call it as list record activity. Records activity. Right? Because we are going to use this layout as an inflator, so which we have seen custom toast, right? So we are going to use a inflator again here. Let me click on finish. So in this, okay, let me just take this text view, go back here. Text view here. Let me call an ID as let me call it as txt something. Record name, right? Record name, and let me drag and drop one checkbox here. This record name, I don't want to give any sort of name as of now, right? Because it will be blank. If you go back, you can see it's a blank. Okay? Now let me just drag and drop the checkbox, right? So this checkbox here, so let me make it as very simple. It will be called as chk something checked. CSK, like country, let me take this country or CSK status something, and I don't want any text here. Right? We'll be creating text dynamically. We are not going to hard code anything as such, right? Now, here I don't want to keep them aligned bottom or anything. We just keep everything fresh, but we are going to give some parameters so that we can actually get that. So text view, I have ID, I have a height and width, so we'll just take padding of the text view. So let me call padding as some 15 some dp density pixels, right? So that in all directions it will actually keep at least this much distance for padding. And so for this also, let's keep it as padding of 15 again, 15 dp. Okay, fine. So let's leave this. Now you have an activity which contains text view and checkbox. So we are going to show this text view and checkbox on each and every element of our list view, right? Now just leave this because we are going to use a complete this layout as a view, single view group in our class. Now let's go to the mother activity class, which is my next step in my main class. So we are done with this. We are done with custom layout where we have created a checkbox and text view. Now we are in main class. Now, here the first step what we have to do here is, anyways, first at least we have to get the list view which we have defined here. So let me drag it here, drag the key here. Perfect. Now here, first let me create a list view object. Let me call it as lobj list view is equal to null. And so after that we have to actually create an adapter. So we are done with creating a list view first. So let's get that list view in my on create. lobj list view is equal to, you have find view by id, you have a r dot id dot, so what's the list view? We have my list, right? My list. So here you can just cast it up to my list. This will actually get the hold of your list view which you have defined here. Right? Perfect. Now once you are done with your list view, now the next step is that, okay, as you are going to handle the multiple things, right, then you have to actually get the data for multiple things, right? So until unless you have a separate classes, right, you can't, so it will become a static. But static, creation of static things, no one needs that. Now for that, let's create a holder class, right? So you know that in Java you can actually create classes in.
Actually, not. Can you make it clear? I mean, I didn't get it.
Okay, so here it is, as we have multiple things being created, right? In list view, let's take each and every row as a cell, right? So previously what we have seen is each cell contained only one control, which is a text view, right? So when we displayed countries, right, we displayed in each cell we displayed one country, and that country was a list text view, fine?
Okay. Right.
Yeah. Now here what we are going to do here is, we are going to, in a cell or in a row of a list view, we are going to combine multiple controls. For those multiple controls, you have to actually set multiple values. Am I right? Checkbox in one cell can be checked, in another cell can be unchecked, right? Text view in one cell can be different from other cell. We have a multiple values to be holded. So here I can't create an array list, right, of one value. Am I right? I have to create an array list which can hold a class, and in this class I can have values for multiple values of these controls.
I mean, you need to have a class which holds different objects.
No, the list of.
Yeah, I have to create a class which can hold the values for these controls in my custom layer. Let me create that
Yeah.
class.
Those values, like, those values shouldn't be the same type.
What do you mean the same type?
See, if you take a text view, I mean, the one text view can contain strings, the other one can contain integers.
No, always text view will hold a string, always. See, even if you are setting integer, right, you have to convert it to string and set to text view, right?
Yes.
See, like, you have given checkbox and text view, right? In the place of text view, I want to give a spinner. That means a drop down here.
No, that's what I'm saying. Based on the control you're using, right, you have to create objects of that. Yes, you're right actually. Right?
Okay. No, in the spinner, for one checkbox, I want to create a spinner with integers, and for another checkbox, I want to create a spinner with strings.
Okay, you mean each and every cell you want a customized one? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah. Will it be possible?
It will be possible. It will be possible. Yeah, it is possible. You can try out that. Okay. Let me give you the fundamental, right? You can try out those things, right? Yes, but it is possible to actually, see, the thing is, if you want to arrange each and every cell, right, then you can't make it dynamic, right? Am I right? Because in list view, things will be in symmetric way. If you want to generate a list view which is asymmetric, right, then you have to actually, count on, okay, all even rows should be this and all odd rows should be that. Or some logic where you want to actually show them, right?
Okay.
Yeah. Well, obviously, this will be the basic funda, and you can actually improve this funda to what the requirement you have, right? Now, let me create a class. Separate. So, anyways, as of now, just remove this part. We just need on create. Now here, I'm gonna create a class. Let me create a static class. So let me call it as holder class, or make it as CLS data holder class. I'll just make it as short holder. Right. Now in this class, what I'm going to make here is, so here we have two things where I need a text view and a checkbox, right? So let's say in text view I'm going to hold a name of a record, which is, let's say I want to hold the name of a fruit, and this is a checked status. So let me just take it as private string. So let me call it as lstr name, and I have private string. We have we have to take boolean, right? Because we have checkbox. boolean, let me call it as lboolean chk status. So let's keep it as false by default. Now this is my a single class which can hold multiple values for the multiple records I have, multiple controls I have. Now let's create a properties for this. Get a set of properties. So go to
Okay,
source.
then it's like a POSO class.
It's like a project class. Yes, it's like a project class. Fine. Now here I have my getter setters for my name and all. Now here, so using this CLS folder, we are going to create an adapter. Now let's call it as adapter. Now you understand why exactly I'm going to create that. So in this adapter, previously we used to give string. You remember? When we used to create a list view or a spinner or a grid view or anything, right? We used to do string and we directly used to load data, which is a string array or array list or any list, right? Now instead of the string, I'm going to create an array adapter of type CLS folder. So this is my generic type here, which means each and every item can have two different values. Fine. So let me call it as lobj adapter is equal to null. Fine. Now here, so in this CLS folder, let me create a constructor so that I can actually create, whenever I'm going to create an object of this, I can directly assign values to this. Fine. Let me call it as CLS folder here. So leave a default constructor and create some constructor which can actually hold.
Okay.
Right, let me create a public. Now here, let me just create a constructor of two parameters, which is string a name and you have boolean. Let me call it as a status, a bln status or a status. Right? And assign that to lstr name is equal to a name and you have lbln check status is equal to a status. Right? Simple thing. Now why I've created constructor is, so while creating object itself, I can just pass on data so that one object of that instance will be created directly by this name and status. Right? Now we are ready with our folder class. Right? Now whenever you are going to create an array list, right, which is array list as, you can create array list. Let's say I'm going to create array list of my CLS folder type. Let me just say LARR list of folders, or let me call it as data is equal to my list. Now here, how I'm going to add each and every item is, let me just say data dot add. Now you can see it needs an object of CLS folder. Okay? Now what I'm going to do here is, so I can just create new CLS folder. You can see there are two different possibilities of your creation of object. Either you can pass a name or status, or basically what we do is we'll create one more constructor, right, which can actually get only the name, right, which is let me call it as a name again, and let's see your name is equal to a name. That's it. Now because initially we didn't want to check any of item as a true, right, so we are just taking this. So let me create that part as CLS. Now you can see there are three different ways of creation. Let me take this and let me call it as some food site. Let me call it as apple. So this is my first item which I have added to my array list. Now in the same way, you can add multiple objects to this. Let's say this is grapes. Right? We have right? Yeah, anything, something. Just take this. Right? So these are some items which I have added to my array list. Now you can see this adapter which you have created can accept any list which is of type CLS folder, and we have created that sort of list for this. Now we can actually directly add this to this, right? So how to add that? Remember how we usually used to add? We usually used to create lobj adapter, right? Sorry, adapter is equal to new. We used to create array adapter, right? Now here we can't create array adapter. Why? Any guess why? Because array adapter we can use directly in order to map single entity things. But here we don't know in dynamic things, right? We don't know what are the different controls we have, right? Until unless we get these controls and set each and every data, right? We can't actually get the adapter. Am I right? You guys are getting what I'm saying here, guys? So initially we have created a separate class where we have created two different variables, right? One is for name of a food and status, whether it is been checked or not, right? Anyways, so we have created a list of data.
Can you explain it better, please?
I'm sorry?
Can you explain this again, please? Can you explain this again, please?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah,
See.
probably.
Okay, so this, see guys, so this is my list view, right? Let me just start up from start. So this is my list view. So what I'm going to do here is, so we are going to create each and every row of a list view, and in that row we are planning to have two different controls, fine? One is our text view and one is our text checkbox, fine with that? Where we just show a fruit name and a checkbox, right? And if you check on that, we can actually, in a list view, we can actually select multiple checkboxes in order to select some card. So theme is the theme clear for you guys? What we are going to do?
Okay.
In a list view,
Yes, Srinivas.
we are going to add multiple rows, and each row contains one text view and one checkbox. For that, what we have done is, we have created another activity where it contains a single list view, and we have created one more layout or activity where we have a text view and a checkbox. Now, the next thing what we have to do here is, I have created a separate class, right, which contains two variables which can hold a name and a boolean value of status, right? And what I'm doing, I've created an adapter of type CLS folder. So CLS folder can contain two different values. Now in this CLS folder, I've created a constructor which can get a name. Now I'm creating a separate array list which can hold a generic type called CLS folder, which is I can actually add only object of CLS folder, and I'm adding that CLS folder object to this data. Now till this part, I'm actually getting ready with my array list data. That's it. Now what I have to do here?
Question.
Sorry?
I have a question.
Yes, sir.
Is there any other way instead of array list? I mean, we are using the get and set methods. We set our values to the list using them.
Using I can't hear your voice, Geeta. Can you just speak a bit louder?
Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now?
Yeah, it's very low. Okay, go ahead. What is that?
I was asking, since we are using the get method and set methods, by calling those methods, can we not set the values of our, to our objects instead of adding them to the array list?
Can anyone can hear her voice? I don't know. I didn't get the question. So can anyone help me out if you guys are able to hear?
I think she said that instead of adding to the array list, we can't directly set the methods using the setter and getter methods. Is it right, Geeta?
Yeah, right, Sandhya.
Yeah, you can set, but dynamically you have to add. Again, see, you can set each and every item dynamically to this. Eh? So what I'm doing is I'm just creating a separate array list to add it. Or what you can do, you can actually add each and every item to adapter separately. That will be again, if you are actually touching your adapter multiple times, right, it will actually make your app slow, right?
Okay.
That's why we are actually creating a list, right, which is more faster, and you are actually getting ready with that, and once shot you are actually setting the complete data to adapter, right?
Okay.
Yeah, you can also do that. So I don't have to actually create these getter setters, but this is a nice way of doing. That's what I just created these for, right? You don't need to do that. So let me just remove this, and you can just do it as public. Yes, you can do that.
Okay.
Right? Yeah, you can do that. But only thing is,
yeah.
we should not do this part, because you should always create encapsulation type of classes. Never ever create directory, because tomorrow you may see, tomorrow let's say you are actually setting some data, right, which is Apple. Am I right? Now tomorrow maybe you want to append something to this. So how to do that?
Right.
You don't have any role to do that, right? So that's a problem. But yes, you can also do directly. Yeah, that's fine. Fine.
Okay.
Okay.
No
So
problem. Then go with the get set whatever you just.
yeah, you want me to go with the getter setter?
Yeah, it's better.
Yeah, I'll just, so that you can, so whenever I copy this code, you can just get feel of this. That's why I'm creating this. Right? Now, yeah. Okay, perfect. You can see one thing. Have you noticed one thing here? See, when we created getter setter for this string, right, it was direct get string, get name and set name. But for Boolean, you can see it just says is selected, right, or is checked now,
Right.
right, is. Right, that is a difference which we, so for setting, yes, it is. It will, your Eclipse will automatically check what type of, getter setter you are actually going to create for which type. If with that, it will actually create, right? Fine. So this is our list we have created. Now, so now what we have to do is we have to create an instance of our adapter. Now, as I said before, you have to create a custom adapter of your own, right? So let's see how to create a custom adapter. Let me minimize this too. Now here what I'm going to create is, I'm going to create a separate class again. Now these classes can be separate again. You don't have to create all these things in one class. But normally what we do is, if you want to use these classes for multiple things, right, you can actually create a separate class. Otherwise you can create these classes, sorry?
Yeah, separate .java classes.
Yes. You can also create these as a separate Java classes too. Yeah. Right? Now here let me create a class, because as Java allows you to create a class inside a class, right? So you can use them. If you are going to use them only for showing the data which pertains to a certain list view, then you can actually create them in the same sort of class. Right? Now let me call it as my first adapter. Something. Now how can I make it adapter is, I have to extend it with my array adapter, right? Because I want to create a custom adapter, which means I have to inherit all the properties of my adapter first. Fine. Now I'll just say extends my array adapter. Now here again it is asking for what type of generic adapter you want to create. Again I'll just give, I want to create a custom adapter of type CLS folder. Fine. Now here, what is the use of creating that is, let me show you that. Now let's say if I'm not doing any extends, right, it's a normal class, right? Let me remove this. It's a normal class. Now in order to make it as an adapter, you have to inherit the properties of adapter. So where you are going to create an adapter of type CLS folder. Now it will give you some error, because if you are extending this adapter, right, you have to implement some constructors which are mandatory, which are like abstract methods in adapter, right? Now you can see here it says you have to implement your constructor for sure. At least one constructor should be added to that, because all the constructors in API class of adapter are overridden to some argumented constructors. There are no default constructor in adapter. That's why it says you have to add one of them. Let's select any one of them. Let's select this part. So this is my custom adapter I have. You can see here, right? So this is my custom adapter, right? Where I have created a constructor, right? Which can accept, basically which can accept the same thing which we used to do in our, whenever we used to instantiate our adapter, right? We used to give these things, if you remember. We used to give context and which resource we want to set, right? And what is the resource ID which you want to actually set it to data, right? And what are the list of objects. The same thing you have to create it here, because we are going to create it as a custom adapter. Now why do we need to create custom adapter is, we have to dynamically set the data for each and every record for this, right? We'll see how. Now this is our first step. Now here let me just show you setting of adapter, then we'll actually go ahead with my custom adapter. Now here let me just take this adapter, which is my LOPJ adapter, is equal to, you have to create a new instance of your my custom adapter, right? Now here let me pass the context as application context and resource. Now here you have to mention the resource which you want to give. Now here, so what is the resource we are going to set is, so we have a separate resource. So previously what we used to do, we used to give as android.r.resource, if you remember, right? We have to give an internal resource of Android. But here we have created our own custom resource, which is activity list records. We have to give that r dot, we have your layout type dot, so what is the name, activity underscore list underscore records. So this will be the resource, right? And what is the resource ID? Text view resource ID. What is the text view resource ID you want to mention? Now you can directly take up r.id dot, so what is the text view the name you give? txt record name, just mention that. And objects, obviously you have to give the array list, right? So let me give this array list. I want to map this array list object to this. So this is how we create an adapter. Now how we are going to set, we'll see. Now once the adapter is ready, now it's all about setting your adapter.
One question.
Yeah, go ahead.
So actually we have a array list and we have a, a text view, right? We have a checkbox and we have a text view. So if I have two array lists.
If you have two array lists, okay.
So here you have added for object adapter, and for adapter you have added one array list here.
Okay.
If I have two, how to add that one?
Two in the sense, I didn't get that. No, why will you have two? Because, yeah.
No, you have said that like you have a checkbox and you have a text view, right?
Okay, yes, okay.
Instead of text view, I have some other thing, like a label, whatever you said.
Okay. So you mean for odd number of rows, we are going to that thing?
No, you are adding all checkboxes to a list, right?
Yes, okay.
So instead of text view, I have
Label, okay.
Label.
Okay.
So I'm adding those labels also into the text, into the array list.
Okay.
So one row is of label, checkboxes, and the other row is of labels with an array list. Did you get that?
Yeah, what you are talking is, you are talking about asymmetric listing, right? So which, in one row you want to show one label, one type of controls. In other row you want to show some other type of labels, right? Some other type of controls.
Instead of your text view, I want to show a label. So when you are showing the label, those labels are also going to add to a array list, another array list.
Then you have to create multiple custom views actually, right? It all, see, as of now for this list view, right, we are going to create a symmetric way of rows where we are going to use this layout as a each row template, right? Each row will have a text view and checkbox. That's it. This is fixed.
Yeah, what I want to say is each row will have a checkbox and a label.
It's a text view. It's mentioned as a text view because the label is not there in Android actually. So that's why I'm just getting confused. You mean each row will have a checkbox and a text view? Is that what you're saying? Okay.
Instead of text view, I want to give some other control like label or a drop down.
Okay, you can do that. Okay, fine. Okay, fine. Go ahead.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
So whatever checkboxes you have added all those checkboxes to a array list, right?
No. I'm not adding checkbox here. I'm actually adding everything.
The values which you want to give for checkbox.
No, this is not the value of checkbox. There is a value of text view here. Now you can see the name is the name here is a value of text view, and for checkbox I've created a separate variable called boolean, which I'm going to use this to set status of my checkbox. That's it. I'm not going to give any text for this checkbox.
If I want to give the
You can give.
to a checkbox?
You can give. You can give. There is no issue. Say you can give even the text of this. Yes, you can give. But there
where
is of
should
no
I-
use, right? Let me finish this, Sandhya. I don't know whether you have understood the context or not. Let me finish this. Maybe after that we can actually discuss. Okay?
Okay.
Yeah. Because I don't know whether you have got the context. I'm just showing a text view.
I mean, okay. I thought that all
No, no.
were the checkboxes.
Yeah. No. This is not checkbox. Definitely not. Right? This is not checkbox.
Okay.
We are just taking a text view. Right? I'll show you this. Okay. Let me show you these things, and then you will understand. Fine?
Okay.
Yeah. Now, where were we? So, adapter, we've created adapter with this set adapter. Okay, we are working on custom adapter, right? Now, fine. So, in this custom adapter, now, so now what we have to do here is, so we have to get the data now. Now, how to set the data to these controls is a challenge here, right? So for that, again, I'm going to use inflator. So let me create some layout inflator here.
Hello.
Yeah,
Can't hear you, Shinu.
can't hear me? Can you hear me now?
Yeah, now I can hear, but I think last was something else.
Okay, fine. Let me call it as LOBJ align layout inflator. Is now, right? Now, whenever I'm gonna create I'm gonna create an object of this, right? It will hit my constructor. Now here, let's create an inflator of that. Now, I'm going to instantiate my inflator. Now, inflator, if you remember, how can I instantiate my inflator? I have to use layout inflator dot inflate, right? Dot inflate. Oh, yeah. You have to inflate from some context. So anyway, so in this I have to get it from context, right? Anyways, so this context I'm actually setting from my constructor here. So let's say I want to get it from my context. Right? So we are going to use this current context, right, where I'm actually getting my resource, right, and I'll be using this layout inflator to get my checkbox and text view here. We'll see how to get that. Now here, so in adapter, you have one overridable method called getView, where whenever each and every list row, right, is being shown on screen, right, so they internally they will actually call getView of adapter. So we are going to override that method called getView, right? So this pattern of creation of my custom adapter is same for everything as such. You can actually create this type of custom adapter for even grid view or a list view or a spinner or anything, right? Now here let me completely remove this because we want to create our own view, right? Now here this is my get view, which is called every time whenever we actually set adapter, right? Each and every time set adapter for each and every record, so this get view will be called, right? So here let us see how we can actually set the data for checkboxes. So basically what we have to do, whatever data we have set here on list, we have to get each and every item and set. Anyways, you don't have to worry about what data you are giving, you can directly take up data. Let me create an holder class. Let me just say LOBJ current data is equal to, now how to get each and every data. So I can just say this because this is my current portion of my adapter. Whenever I say this, I'm actually referring to my custom adapter. I'll just say this star, so I can get it from get item of position. So this get view will actually give me the position. Copy that up. Now with this, what I'm getting is I'm actually getting the current data which is being shown in my list view. So this current data I want to set to my custom layout, which is a text view and a checkbox. Now let's see how we can actually get that. Don't worry about this. This is giving because we have to return a view. So if there is any error, let's return null, right? And I'm going to use that same convert view here to return. Let me return a convert view. Right. Now before returning this convert view, we have to set our checkbox details. So let me take a checkbox here. LOBJ may be called as CHK as null, and I have a text view. Take it as a text view. LOBJ TXT view is equal to. Now, how can I get the instance of current checkbox and my text view, right? So if you remember, we have actually set the current text to my inflator. I can use my inflator to actually get the details of text view and checkbox from my current custom layout, right? So let's use, so in order to get my checkbox, checkbox, so we have to get inflator, which is my li dot inflate, right? Now which resource you want to inflate? Now I want to pass through something called layout dot my activity, where is that? Activity list records, right? So from this I want to actually pass through, and root doesn't matter about the root, right? And then so this will actually give you a content view, right? Because whenever you actually inflate any of your layout, right, it will actually convert all the controls, it will group all the controls, and it will actually give it as a view. So first let us take it as a view, or maybe we can use the same convert directly here, because this is what we are going to. Now this will give you a view. Now from this convert view, let's get the checkbox, which is my checkbox is equal to convert view dot find view by ID. So this will be same again, which is r dot, we have ID dot, so chk status, so that is our checkbox. Yeah, chk status is a checkbox. Now this will give me the checkbox, typecast it to checkbox, and then you have text view is equal to, we have convert view dot find view by ID, the r dot ID dot txt record name, and typecast it to text view, right? So here we have got the current instance of a checkbox and a text view, right? And now we have to set the data now, which is LOBJ dot set checked, set is checked, or set checked, right? Set checked. Now how to get set checked? We have this current instance of data, right, which is my CLS folder. I'm gonna use this dot, just say is checked. Now if you remember, this is a method, getter setter method, which I have created in the CLS folder. For this boolean, the getter method is BLN checked. So I'm using the same here. And after this, I'm going to get my text view dot set text, right, of my current data dot get name, get register name. With this, in my current text view, whenever you are actually getting the resource, right, which means you are actually getting the resource by reference, right? By reference in the sense, whenever you change the value phase of this, right, it will be changed in your current view, right? Now with this, you are actually set with your current view, and you are actually setting the current details of your data, your checkbox and text. Now this is your get view. Each and every time you set your adapter, whenever you set adapter, which means each and every data will be mapped. Whenever each and every data will be mapped, your get view will be called, right? So let's say the first apple is being mapped to adapter to your list view, then you will get a position of apple, which means your CLS holder current data will have an apple record. Now we are going to set the apple name and the status. So every time we are actually setting a false for this checkbox. So that will be. Now this is how we create. Now let me run this. Let me show you exactly what exactly I've created.
Srinath.
Yeah, hello?
Hello. Yeah, can you hear me, Srinath?
Yeah, I can hear you, Geeta. Go on. Do you have any question? Yeah.
Yeah, I have a question about a view class, get view class. I understood one thing, that whenever you're gonna add an object to the list, add a view, the get view method is the get view is gonna be called.
Yep.
Is that right?
No,
Yeah,
get
so
view
then how does
method.
it go?
See, it is not in array list. So whenever you set adapter, right? See, whenever we have created adapter, right? So whenever we actually create an adapter, right, to data. Now each and every record will be converted to some record type, right? Am I right?
Yeah.
So whenever we are actually setting this array list to some adapter, which means each and every record here will be mapped to some type of control or widget. So whenever it is setting to that, so the one method which is called is a get view.
I mean, it's internally called, because we are not calling it
No,
externally.
we are not calling. It is internally called. It's an internal
Okay.
property of adapter. Yeah.
So this method is called by adapter when you are setting a record to your widget.
Exactly. Whenever you actually set a adapter, right, it will be called internally get view. Yes.
Okay.
Right. So we have.
Okay. And then can you just explain how that convert view and all in this?
Explain what? This convert view.
Yes.
Okay.
Please.
So this convert view basically. So this line, right? This line, what we are doing is whenever get view is called, right? We are already setting this. See, we are already, whenever we are creating an object here, I'm already sending this layout list records. Right? So the activity list record is nothing but this my custom view, right? I'm actually sending this data to my constructor here actually. So you don't have to explicitly do this. No, even if you don't do this, right, it will work. But why I'm showing this is, I just want to override this. I mean, even if you are getting the view, I'm just making sure that it is actually inflated from my list records. Now what happens here is I'm actually converting my complete activity to a view group, which is my convert view. Now from this view group, I'm actually getting the right checkbox and text, and I'm actually setting the data to that. Right?
Okay.
Right, Geeta? Understood?
Yeah. Now I didn't understand one thing. I understood that you're getting the ID for the checkbox and text view.
Okay.
Oh, okay. But then you're setting this value set. I know this set method is called from your holder class, but what value set to that? How do you know that? Whether it's set to Apple or...
No, here I'm getting the position of the item, right?
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Yes. Oh,
See,
okay.
this is not an array list. It's a single instance of CLS folder. See, whenever we are setting a list, right? So here, the first instance of CLS folder, which is CLS folder Apple, right? This is my first position, right? This is a 0th position of item, right? So this position will be 0. So I'm getting that 0th position object here. So from this object, I'm getting the name and status.
Okay.
I'm setting it to my checkbox, which is my checkbox instance, and text view.
Yeah, got it.
Right? Perfect. So let me change this in my main, because I just opened the same spinner activity. So let's go to main activity and let me convert it to multi-list view activity. Clean this up. Run this again. See, I'm just giving you one way of creating this, right? One way, I mean, basic way how you can actually create. So this can be improvised to any number of controls, any number of things, right? So based on your situation, right? You can just try out multiple things. You can Google this, right? Maybe you can get better solution. But this is something which you can actually get it directly. Now can you see this? You got a checkbox, right? And you got a name. Anyways, we have to arrange it. Anyways, right? Can you see? This is a checkbox which you have got and a name. Right? Let me just arrange this in a better way. So here you have a width, wrap content, and height. Padding we have taken. Sorry?
We can use weight here.
Maybe we can use margin.
Yeah.
right? Margin, let me make it as some 10 dp again, and again for text view, let me make margin as 10 dp too, right? So this is one way of margin you can actually set, right? And yeah, let me just run this. But you can see that, right, in one list view we have got two different controls, right? Anyways, it all depends on arranging things inside. That's fine, we can just see that. Okay, it again overlapped again on the top of that. That's fine. So let me just go back and see what we can do. So padding is 15 dp and this is 15 dp. So yeah, I think it's fine. Height wrap content is okay. So here let me just remove the wrap content. Height and width, let's just give margin for this, right, so that it will actually arrange according to this. Maybe okay, let me run this. That's fine. Arranging thing, maybe you can get it on styles, right? So margin, you can use that, right? You can arrange things on your activity, custom activity. It will be arranged accordingly. Oops. Widget have stopped. Margin and it need me right after. Okay, it needs a content wrap content, and then unless we show that, it won't. That's fine. So here let me give some text here. Let me just say something. Go back here. Okay, so let me arrange this.
Will the weight attribute help here, Srinath?
Sorry.
Will the weight attribute help us here?
Which attribute? Which attribute?
Weight, Android.
You mean weight? So for checkbox or text view, for which one you are actually talking about, Geeta?
What text view? If we give the weight
Okay.
attribute as 1 or something, it will take the 50%.
You mean width? You mean width?
Not weight attribute.
Weight. You mean this weight? Font weight? You mean?
No, not font weight. Only the weight attribute which takes as a percentage wise space in the layout.
Okay. For text view, there is no weight, right? There are only width and weight, right? For text view.
I think we have weight for layout then.
Okay, because we are actually, see, even if you do it for a layout, right, it is not going to affect the position of these two, right? Right, Geeta? Okay, let us run this now. Oops.
And sure, one more thing.
Okay, much better. Right? Now you can see the controls being added, and you can actually scroll the details. Yeah, okay. So this is what I was actually mentioning, right? Your text field is here, and you can have checkbox. Right? If you want to have a checkbox data, I mean text, right? You can also check now, right? You have a checkbox now. You can directly just say set text, right? it will also set text for your name, right? Let me just give, but this is not needed, right? Obviously you will see data in this type, right, where you will have your details and checkbox, or a checkbox and details and all, right, where you can actually select multiple things. But yes, you can also do this part. When you run this, obviously it will also give the name of the checkbox, but normally we are not interested much on this, right? Yeah, Geeta, you were asking something.
Yeah, actually this whole thing I was trying with different ways,
Okay.
but yeah, I had got stuck. And what I was trying was, I was using a list view with multiple choice mode.
Multiple choice mode. Okay. So this is multiple
Yeah.
choice mode, right? Yeah.
Right, yeah, but this is like what we created all by ourselves. So I was using it, the integrated list view with multiple choice mode from Android.r.layout.
Okay.
In that case, I'm getting everything same. Only thing is, I was not able to add some price or extra widget. I mean, I didn't know how to add in that.
Okay. I mean extra controls to one list here. Extra controls
So
to
this
one.
is custom. Now I know if I want to add any other extra control, like say maybe edit text, box, whatever.
Yeah, you can
I can
add.
go and
Yes, you can
yeah,
add.
I can go and add from the holder class.
Yes. Let me add one more. You want me to add one more here? Let me add. Let's say this is some price. Okay. So this is one text view. Let me just call it as txt price. Okay. So this is my text price. Go to multiple. So here what we have to do here is we just have to get one more, create one more text view here. Let me call it as txt price is equal to null, and here what we have to do here is hello widget txt price. You have your convert view dot find view by id. You have r dot id dot txt price, fine. And before actually doing this txt price, what we have to do, we have to change our holder class, right? For our holder class, we have to create a price attribute, right? Let me call it as lstr price here is equal to this, and let me create a getter setup for this. For our price, okay. Now you can see this is a getter setup price for price. Let me keep it bottom. Right. Now again we have to change the constructor, right? So let me just say cls folder name, comma, you have your price to a price, right? And price thing, let us set it to price.
Yeah.
So this price you also have to send it from here. Let's say this is some 100, right? And this is some right 40. This is some. Oh sorry, you have to give it a string, right? That's fine.
Yes.
Maybe we can just call it as no, something so. Right. So here we just gave two different data, right? Now yes. Okay. So now what we have to do, we have set my checkbox and text view, and we have to set the price text view dot set text of hello widget current data dot we will be having get str price, right? So because we have created this attribute in our holder class, right? In our holder class we have a price attribute, and from outside world we can't access this variable, but we can access the property of that variable, which is my get list price, right? So in this way you can set. Let me run this. right? So you can, so I mean, now you can actually, increase your whatever data you want, right?
Yeah.
Now these are we actually create. Yes, go ahead.
Yeah, sorry. I got this thing, Srinath. But the list view, what I was using, I created, was the list view that we have with the multiple choice mode. I mean, I don't have to create a text view and a list box separately, checkbox separately in that list.
Yeah, I mean, what you are talking about is you have used the Android API's internal list view
Exactly.
container. No, that's fine,
Yeah.
that's fine. Yes, you can do that. But only thing is, see, basically, if you use that one, right, what happens is you don't have other choice to increase the controls.
Exactly, we don't have, right?
Exactly, you don't have
Yeah.
because it's an inbuilt, right? So that's why I haven't taken inbuilt, because this is a maximum possible thing what you can actually get, right? So I've just gave you this, right? You can just now. You can actually go ahead and actually try out with how to get
Yeah.
events and all, right?
Yeah, I'll do. Okay. I was actually using the Android API and multi-check.
Okay, I got
was
it
not
now.
able to
Yes,
add.
yes. Yeah, you can't add because so once you actually stick to API, right? So that is now, that's why you can see I'm not using any Android API here, right? Everything we are
Yeah.
using complete custom, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Hi, Srina.
Yeah, Peter.
Okay, so we started the exercise with the spinner, but where is the spinner? Right, because we need to click on the spinner and then it should show this list. And then once you select it, select those checkbox and should reply, in the reply should say like what you have selected.
I didn't get that. What is that? What is that? Can you just repeat
In
that?
the beginning we start from the spinner. So basically it should be like the spinner, if you click on the spinner, it should give the list, and then once you select all those checks, then it should give you the results.
Yes. That I think you can try. That's what I was talking about, Iftikhar. What you can do is you can try. See, this is the way how to do the thing, right? Now, based on the selection, right? Based on the spinner change, you may change your list data, right? If you are selecting any fruits, maybe you can actually completely do redo this. Yes, you can do that. Based on selection of spinner, you want to change the data of list view, right? You can do that. Not dynamically, right? Because you have, you have a control called spinner, right? And you know how to fill the spinner, right? You know how to handle the event of spinner, right? Now, based on the handling of spinner, you know how to get the data, different data, and you can actually call the same method, right? You can keep the whole thing here in a separate method, and you can actually call different things, and it will actually be first.
Have you done a spinner before? I don't think, because this is the class we need to discuss about spinner.
No,
Oh, we already done. Okay.
Yeah, you have already done
Okay.
this. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah, you can combine these two. You can combine the spinner, right, in a separate, maybe in a separate activity, right? Maybe you can add a spinner, right, and based on selection of spinner. Now, if you go to spinner, right, so these are we add a spinner, right? These are we add a spinner, and you can actually, okay, we haven't seen the event of spinner.
No.
Okay, we haven't. Okay. In last class, I think we have completed our
start
last
with
class.
spinner.
No
Yeah.
issues. Let me show you the spinner part too. Okay. Now I hope you understood this records part, right? Multiple records. Okay. Let's go back to spinner and let me show you that. Okay, fine. That's fine. So let's make it a spinner activity here.
Can we combine those together, like this is spinner and
Yes.
the custom adapter?
Yeah, you can combine. No issues. I'll do that. Okay. Don't worry. So in this spinner, so let me call it as. Okay. Let me just first run this. Let us see where exactly we stand here, and then. And Geeta, you were talking about you had some problem with sending data, right? I'll clear that part too, right?
Okay.
Okay, so here you have a spinner. Okay. Now event, how to select this event is, so let's see how to actually select the event. Right. So the spinner is here. Set adapter is done. So so let's, after set adapter, let's So you have LOTG spinner dot, so set on item selected list, right? So we are more interested on whenever we select item, right? Set on item selected list, right? So we'll take up this first, we'll see how it works, and then we'll actually combine these two, right? I'll combine this,
Okay.
don't worry about that.
Yeah.
Now in this item selected, right, you have two things, item selected or nothing selected, that's fine. So we are more interested on item selected. So here let's go ahead and write try catch. So just say here I have to get the item selected string, let's say lstr item selected is equal to, now I have my lstr data, lstr ar data dot or of, I am not taking array list, right, it's a string array. Now you know that this argument 2 will give me the position of this will give as a index, right? I am getting this. Okay, I have to make it final, don't worry. Right, so this item I have selected, let me create a toast here. Or we have already created some toast, right? CLS toast dot show toast. Sorry. Item selected and context, let me give context of get application context, and that's it. Right, now let me run this spinner. So okay, you can see selected apple. So when I select one, you can see this, right? Now this is how we actually select this. Now let's combine these two. Let's see. On selection of this, I want to go to my multi-list activity, right? Sorry. So based on my selection here, I want to change the data, right? Now okay, let's select this as some fruits, and maybe this has some stationery, something, right? And let's set it as country. Okay, let me just consider these three. So based on these three, so I want to select data. Okay, this is my selected item. Okay, fine. This will show as a toast. On change of my spinner, I want to go to my multi-list activity. So let's create an intent here. So LOTJ intent is equal to, you have, so sorry, new intent of, so current class, which is my spinner activity dot this, comma, you have your multi-list activity dot class, right? So here I'll just start activity of my intent, right? Now this will actually go to the multi-list activity, but we have to send some data, right? So let me just create a bundle. How can I create a bundle? I'll just say put extra of name. So let me just say here as some key, something, right? And the value, let me give value as my LSTR item selected. So based on the item selected, so this put extra will actually keep my data on this cache of key, and when I say start activity, it will go to this part. Fine. Now so this part, whatever you have done on create, right? Let me create a separate method, public void. So let me call it as handle on create, and let me write everything here, which is, let me cut it up and paste it here. Fine. So here, so these are some details, right? Now, so what we have to do first, we have to get my bundle LOTJBNDL is equal to get intent. I have to get intent of current dot get extras. get extras will give me the bundle. Now from this, let me just select string lstr selected is equal to, we have bundle dot get string of key. So this key you have to mention the key. So I'm just giving the same I've just taken some random value as key, right? So with this I'll get the data to my next activity call set. So based on this selected item, right, I have to fill the data first, right? Fill the data. So this filling part, let me create a separate class, separate method, which will give me a array list of type CLS holder. Get required list by catch. So here we are going to actually add this up. Now here what I'm going to do here is just call get required list. Fine. So this get required list will actually return the list data. Return the list data. Right. So now how to, okay, if there is any error, let's return null. How to distinguish? So let me create enum. Let me call it as enum selected type something. So in this enum, let me copy these things which are food, stationery, country. Let me keep it as a constant. Right? It's a food, stationery, and country. Right? Now here what I'm going to do here is I'm going to create a method here, public static. We have enum called enum selected type and from string. Let me call it as from string, because whenever we are getting anything, right, we are getting in a form of string, we have to convert it to enum, right? From string, just call it as string astr value, and here just say return of, you have something called value of string. This will return an enum type. Now here let me create one more value type called public enum select type called g enum selected is equal to, by default let's say it's fruits. Right, and then based on the selection we have to change. So I'll change enum selected is equal to enum select type dot from string of my selected. So this will actually give me whatever I've selected, I'm actually setting it to my global enum. So this enum I'm gonna use it here. So let me use switch case as g enum selected. Now for the first one will be fruits, right, and then next one will be the country, and then let's say it's
Station.
you have your station. Okay. Now in case of fruits, I'm gonna paste it here, right, and based on country, so let me just take few elements, so don't think about it something, I'm just giving some value, right? Yeah, so here this is my country. Let me just copy it as stationery. Let me say stationery pen, we have pencil and book. And this can be randomized, okay? I'm just hard coding, right? You can actually get it from database anywhere you want, right? Based on this situation. And country, let's start, make it as India, make it as US, make it as Dubai. Okay? So these are countries, right? So based on the selection you are doing, you will be populating this data. Perfect. Right? Now let me run this. So in main activity, do you have spinner? Perfect, we have spinner. Let me run this. We have a console. So it will say, so whenever it loads, it will say fruits. So what is that? Okay, so first item, let me keep it as so because it is going on selected itself, it is going right. Okay, let me create a button here so that we have to see spinner, right? So here, let's go to spinner activity. So here, let me create one more button. So and on button click, we will go to the next one. Okay. So in this button, let me call it as btn go list something, and just call it as go. Right. Go to spinner activity. So on item listener, right? We'll just set which item selected, right? And on button, we'll do that thing. So here, let me get the button. You have your button and obj btn is equal to find v by id of r dot id dot we have btn go list, right? So and on button dot set on click listener, we have new on click listener. Right now here what we are going to do is, so we don't want to go to intent at this place, but on click we want to go. Let me copy that intent part here and import this. Okay, this selected item, so whenever we actually select, right, let me create a global value. So this selected item, let me make it as on top of this selected item. So whenever we actually change this, so this will be changed, and I'm going to use this over here. Fine, perfect. Now initially whenever we load the spinner, right, so it won't directly go to toast, to the next intent, rather it will just show this, right? So in my multi-view, so whatever data we are getting, right, so we have to handle on create. We just missed it, right? And here just say toast of, sorry, we have already toast, right? So here as toast dot show, just say in multi-list layout, sorry, multi-list activity, right, comma data selected. So data selected is your LSTR select, comma you have your get application context. Fine, we're just showing what exactly is happening. Fine. So let us run this. Go back to spinner, run the left. So initially it will select fruits, so we'll just select fruits again here and click on go, and click on go, right, it will go to fruits and you can see multiple is selected and apply now. Okay, let's go back, select on stationery, click on go. Now you can see stationery got selected, pen pencil book, right? To back again. Now let's select on country, click on go. Now you can see India is there. Right. So that's how you can actually map your spinner with respect to spinner activity. Whatever you have selected, you are actually populating your multiple thing. Data in our list.
Sure, can I have
So
a question?
any doubt here? Yeah, sure. Go ahead.
Why we need we need to use the button with spinner compulsorily to go to the particular activity.
No, we don't need actually. We don't need that.
Yeah.
We don't need a button.
Yeah.
No, I just created that. Okay, fine. I'll just remove that. Let me copy that here itself. Yes. Okay.
Yeah, and
Fine. We can do that. No issues.
Okay.
But the only thing is why I have created a button is so whenever this activity loads, right, immediately actually it will go to multi-list activity directly. Why? Because initially it will be the first item will be selected, right? So that's why it will just go back. So that is the reason I just wanted to show that. But anyways, we'll see. Let's see that.
Okay, and then can we in the spinner can we
Yeah.
see that select one of it as soon as it launch? Instead of selecting, it gets the first item gets selected from the spinner.
Yeah, you can see here the first item got selected and all the pertaining details got. Yeah, if you go back
Yeah.
and select stationery, right? So
Right.
automatically it will go. I'm not clicking on my click goes. It will automatically go to this.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, I got this. But now I don't want it to. As soon as it is loaded, I don't want it to go to the first activity, that is the fruits. I want
Okay.
it to ask us to select. So we can just give.
No,
some-
that is what. Okay, you want to give an option of select, right? That's fine.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
fine. That's
Select
fine.
an
That's fine.
option or some hint behind.
Yeah, you can just give select,
Oh, okay.
right?
Then
So what I'm gonna do, so whenever it gets selected, so if it is lstr item dot equals of select, just say return, right? So here what we're gonna do here is so this customer activity, I'll just say
okay.
right. So let me run this. So as we are not using button, so let me remove this button. We don't need this button anymore. And I just wanted to show that actually. That's fine.
Yeah.
So let me run this.
And so now another thing is how we get back the results. Like once we selected the options, how we get back the results. Like suppose if we select the apple or banana, so how we get back these results to the main.
Yeah, that's what I mean. The click event I want you guys to work on. You have already seen the click event of list view, right? Just I want you guys to work on the click. Yes, that's why I haven't mentioned it. Click.
No, once we selected those items, how we get back to the main spinner activity, like this activity.
I just clicked on back.
Okay.
Right?
And it will show you.
Yes, it will show. So here, let me just select again, right? So, so item select, which is, I'm actually showing the toast, right? Why it is not showing the toast here? Because as else here. So if it is not select, then right? I'm showing you select some option here. Sorry? Hello? Okay, fine. So it is installing the widget. Let me just see what happens now. Okay, so initial, okay, Hita, please select some option. So now you can select anything, stationary.
Oh, thank you.
Right. So these are actually logic actually. I just gave one logic which I just got in suddenly in mind. Maybe you can write some better logic than this, okay?
Right.
Yeah, fine. So these are we can actually connect the data to this, right? Now these are we move on with the data. Fine, was that fine, guys? So if it is fine, let's move on with the next widgets now. Let me, sorry, any question there? Hello?
Okay, so first we, so you know the in here, like once we select pen and pencil, how we get back results to the main like spinner activity to see what we have selected from the list.
That's what I'm saying. See, what you are asking is activity result actually. Iftikhar. So the activity result will come to activity results once we are done with the widgets. Okay, I'll show you that.
Okay, no problem.
So what you want is whenever you select this, you want to just see the result here, right? I'll show you that. Okay, that's our next topic. Right?
It should be
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, we'll move on with our widgets now. So from just a moment. So let me take a new activity. So let us see the next. Which one we should see now? Okay, let's go ahead and see alert dialog. Right. So let me just create a new activity.
Srinath, if you don't mind, can you create a new project, because this gets confused while studying or referring to
Okay, definitely. I'll do that. No issues. Sure. So let me call it as widgets 2.
Yeah, that's the one. Thank you, sir.
No issues. So we click on next, and blank activity I want and finish. So let me close this project. Okay, so this will be my main activity. I don't want to touch the main activity. Let me create a new activity here. So let me call it as alert dialog. Now this alert dialog is something like which we alert dialog, right? So basically, if you are actually working on some thick client, right, which is Windows based application, normally desktop application, sometimes let's say if you want to close some application, we ask for some alert, right? Do you want to proceed, right? Those type of command or dialog windows, right? So that dialog window in Android is called as an alert dialog, right? So we have to completely write our alert dialog for our own. There is nothing there is no such control, but we have to actually create an alert dialog which is already there inbuilt alert dialog in one of the API of Android, right? We'll see how to create that. Now this is my alert dialog. So let me just remove this. Let me just create a button here. So whenever I click on this button, I want to show an alert, so that based on your choice, it should go back and actually give the result whatever you have selected, right? So let me just rename this button to something Go, and just call it as PTN Go. Let's go back to the alert dialog class here. So okay, before going to that, let me just go to main activity. In my main activity, so on create itself, I want to go to the next activity. So let me create an intent first. So new intent of we have something called current activity, which is main activity dot. Oops. We have this, right, comma, we have, so I want to go to alert, which is alert at dialog activity, right, dot class, and just say start activity of intent. Perfect. Right, so now let's close this. Now, so on create, right, let's see how to create. Now let me create, let me just remove this part. Let me create one more method. Let me call it as handle alert, and let me call this method over here. Now, so in this, the first step is to get the button click, right? So here, let's create a button. PTN is equal to find view by ID. You have r dot id which is your com.widgets2.id.btn go, right? And convert it to cast it to button, and your button dot set on click listener. Let's name on click listener, and hand alert should actually be called on. Yeah. Right. So when you click on button, I want to show the alert. So maybe I can just say show alert instead of handling that. Let me call it a show alert so that it won't misguide you. Right. This is showing alert. Now here, let us see how we can actually create a and again. So you can create a dynamic alert again, guys. So you don't have to hard code. If you want to save this message in anywhere in database, right? So based on where actually you are clicking, right, you can get that particular message and show them, and even you can also say what type of buttons you want to show, right? So these are something which we normally used to do in our web applications or desktop based applications, right? Each and every action sometimes will be saved in database, and based on your event clicked or something, right, based on the pattern which you are saving in database, you can move on. Let's forget about these things. Let us see how we can actually create an alert, right? So for an alert, you have something called alert dialog, right? Where in order to build that, you have an alert dialog builder, right? So we have to use the builder class inside your alert dialog, which is an API of your activity, right? Let me call it as LOBJ builder is equal to new builder, and you have to give the context. Let me give the application context, or basically let me give this. I just want to show alert for this particular activity, right? So what is happening here? Import. Oh, that's fine. Okay. So this why it was it gave error is I just have to import it because I've used it here and I'm not using it. That's fine. We can just import. So for now, I can directly call a builder. Now here, so this builder, you can actually go on create that builder, which is the first step. What you can do is you can set message, whatever message you want to show on this dialog, right? You can set. So let us just go ahead and see. Let's see the case of closing an app, right? So just say, do you want to close this app? Right? Some message, right? So now, so in this builder, the first thing what you have to do is you have to set some buttons, right? So it can be negative button or positive button. There are few things. So first, let us set something called whether we can actually cancel this, right? Canceling in the sense, sometimes you can actually close the alert, right? Without selecting any option, you can close. Let's say no, we don't want to do that part. So first step, let's say no cancelable, because if you are giving some cancelable, there is no need of creating the alert, right? And then, so let's go ahead and create something called set positive button, right? So let's say positive button is something. Do you want to close? Yep. Yes. Let me just say yes. Right? And here you can see on click listener, right? So yes, okay. If you have selected that, right, and what you want to do, now here you have to go ahead and create a on click listener. Just say new on click listener of your dialog interface. Let's close this. Now this is what you want to do. So let me just import. Okay, let me call it as dialog interface dot on click listener. Right, this is our on click. Now whenever you click on this dialog interface, now what I have to do? I have to close it. Now how can I close activity? So there is an internal method called finish. When you actually click on call this method finish, right? So your current activity will be closed. Right? Now this is something, it's a positive button you have created for your builder, I mean activity dialog. Now let's create a negative set negative button. So just say it has no or cancel. Okay, let's say no. And on click listener again, new dialog interface, your activity on click. Just say, okay, sometimes it won't implement this. Just say dialog interface dot on click listener, right? So whenever you click on this, so what I want to do is I want to cancel this. What happened here? So how to cancel the current dialog is you can directly call a method called dialog, right? You have your something called dialog which is interface dot cancel, right? So this dialog will actually take the current instance of your dialog, right? And it will actually create your current instance, and it will actually cancel up your dialog. Now this is your buttons are created now. So now you are done with your creation of your actual message of your builder of your alert. Now we have to show it, right? Now how to show? So you have your set message done, button yes, no, yes, okay. Then you have to go for your alert dialog, right? Which is, let me call it as, it's an alert is equal to, now how to create an alert is you have to use a builder sorry, dot, you have an internal method called create. Is it create or, yeah, create will give you a dialog, perfect. Right, and just say lobj alert dot show. Okay. So it will actually show up this. So this alert dialog which we have created, right? So this is how we actually created alert. Now let me run this and see how it works. So click on go. Now you can see, yeah, perfect. Do you want to close this app? No. Right, then it will close. Click on it, go, click on yes. Now you can see this activity will get closed, right? Now basically it's not an app, it's an activity as such. Finish will actually finish your activity, right? Now that is how you can do. And if you want to show some header, right, you can do that in this way. So you have alert set yes, yeah.
I'm person, I can we switch the position of yes and no button? So those button are, can you switch the position of yes and no button?
Yeah, you
the
can.
dialog box?
Sorry, I'm getting some disturbance. Can you just, what is that? Position of button, right?
Yeah, position of button like yes and no, because right now it is on wrong location. Because usually yes is on the left location, and cancel on the right location.
You mean you want to show yes first and no later, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, you can do that. I think you have to mention, it will actually stack up the things. Let me mention it here. Let me clean this again. So I've taken one attribute called set title, right? So basically we should give the title like confirm or something. We basically give for some message dialog box, right? So you can actually take up that. So click on go. Right? It again give. I'll give you this arrangement figure. Okay, I'll give you that. Now you can actually give this title, right? Title over here. And this will actually, get your title confirmed, and this is how you can. Okay? So let us see how we can actually do that arrangement. They say it should not take up that if you run No, we have to make it happen. Okay, fine. Let me check that. Okay, I'll give you that. But normally, based on the sequence I think that it should actually take that sequence.
Yeah.
I'll
So
give
I
you.
designed it, because I designed this alert box, the dialog box, and but I have the problem with these, the buttons. I don't know why they are opposite.
Sorry, what is that?
I designed this dialog, but I don't know how to do this, because the yes and no is going to the
Okay. Position, position and off control.
Position.
You're right. I'll check out. Okay. No issues. I'll check out that.
Right, thanks.
But normally what happens if you run the same, can you try the same thing on your phone? Because if you try it in your phone, I think you should give the stack build up actually. The way whatever you're giving, or let me check out. Don't worry, okay?
So I try on my tablet, but it's still, it's showing on same, like no is on the left and
Okay.
just on the right, yeah.
No
But
issues.
it's not
No
the
issues.
right, yeah.
I'll get back to you on that. Okay? I'll get back.
Right, thanks.
Fine. I don't maybe remember because normally it gets stacked up. I'll show you that. Fine.
Thanks, yeah.
Okay, so this is our alert dialog which we have, right? And how to set the positioning of controls, I'll get back to you on that. Fine. So this is our alert dialog control which we have in place. Right. So let's take up one more control, one more widget. Let me just see. Let me create what exactly. Okay, let's go ahead and create some autocomplete. So autocomplete will be very easy.
Srinath,
Yeah, Sanjay.
Srin,
Yeah.
so it is like button click, right? What you have done now. I mean, whatever the toast message and alert message is like alert dialog is when you click on a button, you are getting that.
Yeah. On click on some. So see, I'm actually triggering some action. Yeah, then only I'm actually getting that. Yeah.
So is it like when you place the arrow on a button without clicking, can we show the message?
Yeah. On button. Okay. Arrow message on mouse over or something, right?
Yes.
But there is no mouse overs in mobile. I mean, smartphones, right? You have to click on something, right? Right?
Okay. Okay.
Am I right? I mean,
I mean, I never tried. I just wanted to ask.
no issues. I think you will be having something called. Let me just set that. Set on. We have something called focus change listener. Not focus. We are not hover listener. Yes, we have this hover listener, right? So if you are actually using the stylus, right? Maybe maybe it will work, right? Let me just click on this over to new on hover listener, right? So here on hover listener.
Yeah, in Java we have something called on focus or something.
Yes. In Java you have on mouse over, on mouse left, on mouse entry. Yeah, you have. You have, but only thing is, see, if you are using smartphone, right, there is nothing like hovering, right? You will just click on with your thumb. That's it. You won't be scrolling here and there, right? Because we normally do see if I move my mouse to this, right, it is just a hover, right? But if you have a stylus in your phone, then you can do that, right?
Okay.
Fine then. So let me just suppress this. Set down here. See, it is again saying that you can't do that. That's fine. Okay, so maybe let me just see how we can do that. Show alert. Let me run this. Oh, sorry. That's too loud.
Yeah.
Okay, so when I hover, see, it is not getting. When I click on this, it will get. But on hover listener, it is deprecated again, right? Because in smartphones, anyways, maybe in the latest version it is not there, right? But yes, we do have hover listener, and based on your style, if anyone is using stylus, right, maybe this may work, right? But in touch based, we don't have something called hovering something, right? Fine. So that is alert dialog, and yeah, let's check something on autocomplete, right? So autocomplete. Let me just go ahead and change this autocomplete. Right. So here you have autocomplete over here. Open the text fields. I think you have it in I don't know where exactly they have placed it. So progress bar you have, I think here you have autocomplete. Perfect. Let us see how we can actually make an autocomplete text field, right? Sometimes you have to give like Google, like, so like just think about a Google bar in your app whenever you install, right? Whenever you start typing, so in case of Google, it will actually get it from some source. Maybe it is getting from its host source, right? We'll see how it is actually getting that, right? So on set, let us see how we can actually set the data as a source. Now the same thing is there in our normal, even while designing our websites or desktop-based applications, right? So we can actually set an autocomplete source. It can be a database or it can be a file, right? It can be XML and all. But here again you have to go for adapter, right? You have to, again, this is something which you are actually you are giving an adapter to autocomplete view, and from that adapter details it will actually start searching, right? And the adapter you are going to set dynamically, right? So let's see how to do that. So let me just take a list maybe.
Is it like something we are fixing the text view edit text size?
Fixing the
Size of the edit text? I mean, size of the text box. What do you mean by autocomplete exactly?
No, autocomplete is like, whenever you just, it's like suggestions. I mean, when you go to Google, right, it will give some suggestions. Right? Let me show that.
Okay, like
Yeah.
when you are typing itself, you will
Perfect.
get
Yeah, when
whatever things
yeah,
related to that.
Yes.
Can you explain it to me?
So here.
Because
Sorry. Yeah, Nabila.
and Geeta understood that I don't know what do you mean.
I'll tell you what is it. So here you have a text box, right? You can see here text box. So whenever I start typing something, right? Whenever I start typing something like this, right? So it will actually give all the suggestions which I have, right?
Yeah.
So this is something which is called as a, let me just type on something, it will give something which is an autocomplete.
Okay.
Right? So this is an autocomplete. We have an autocomplete control in our Android, and we are just checking how to actually build that in case of our Android. Clear?
Okay.
Right? Okay. So let me call it as LOTJ data. Sorry, list. Yeah, list data is equal to. So you have your list. Okay, you can't convert this to fine. Let me just tell you and list. Dot add. Now let's add few things here. So let me add again some data. So this can be dynamic, right? So the data which you are actually writing, right, with and it can be something cyber, right? Something C#, right? Maybe we have Java, something taken Android, some random things, maybe J2AA, right? So 1, 2, 3, 4, like ABC. It can be anything, and Let's give something special.
Give some
characters.
ant builder.
Yeah, you can give ant builder. Right? And also you can have some special controls too, which is, let's say, C++. Right? You can also have something. I'm just showing you all the possibilities, like right. This is an array list, and you have to create an array adapter again. Right, let me give it a string adapter. Obj adapter is equal to new. Right, now this is where you have to select your array adapter, right, with your resource. Now first application context, right, and now this resource we are going to give as our Android resource dot r dot, so we have to get it from some layout dot, let's do something called, okay, you have select the elevator or multiple choice, anything, you can maybe select the elevator, right, and then this, what is the source we have is our list data. Let me just select that data. Now these are array after. Now first let me get an autocomplete view here, autocomplete text view, and obj autocomplete text view is equal to find view by ID. You have r dot, you have your ID dot autocomplete text view. Okay. Sorry. And yeah, so for this autocomplete text view, right, you have something called you have to set something, which is, the first thing is, the first thing is you can set your adapter, which is our LOBJ adapter. This is fine, we all know this. And after that, so we have something called, remember, set. There is one method called set start data, or set start, or the threshold. Okay. Threshold. Now the threshold is nothing but, see, whenever you start typing on text box, right, sometimes if you see in your Android phone, right, until unless you give 3 characters, it won't show the data, right? So that is called as threshold. Let me give 1 here. I'll show you what exactly I'm talking about. And then you can actually set color of text, right? So that you want to show autocomplete in some other text, right? You can actually set some color. So let me just use something called color dot some red. Graphics dot red. Perfect. Okay, let me run this. I'll show you what exactly how it works. So these are okay, let's remove this text here. So we have this, so let me click on C, right? You can see we got cyber and C++. Can you see this? Because we have starting with C, right, we have 2 things, cyber and C++, right? When I click on Y again, it will automatically filter. Click on this and we can actually set this. So these are autocomplete, fine. Now click on some 1, it will give you 1, 2, 3, 4 ABC. If there is a data, right, which is attached to this adapter, right, then it will give you that, right? Now if there is no data, let me click on X, right, Now automatically it will check. There is no data pertaining to this, right? It won't give. Simple, right? Now this part of loading your list can be done dynamically, right? So based on the, sorry, based on the element you are actually clicking on this, right? You can actually get the data from database, right? Now this is something, when I click on A, right, you'll see it will get Apple, Android, right, and also the things which are there in here. Can you see? It's 1, 2, 3, 4 and A is in between. It will give even that.
It's not case sensitive, yeah?
I'm sorry?
Is it not case sensitive also?
I'm sorry, your voice is not clear, Geeta. It's very low.
I don't know.
Can just keep your mic, near to your mouth so that we can hear it clearly.
Yeah, I'm holding it quite near.
Okay.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, maybe you have to increase volume from your side. That's fine. Go ahead. What is that?
Yeah, I'm asking. It's not even a case sensitive thing, right?
I didn't get that. What is it?
Not case.
She's asking if it is case sensitive or not.
I'm sorry. Can anyone help me out? What exactly is Geeta asking?
I mean, when you enter A, if it is case sensitive, will it take case sensitive?
It will take. Yes. If you want to convert, yes, it will give both actually. Right? It will give both.
Yeah.
It can
It's
also
not
convert-
case sensitive.
It is not a case sensitive. That's what I'm saying. It is not a case sensitive.
Yeah.
Sorry. Maybe I'm deaf.
No,
I'm not able to.
it's okay.
Okay, so this one letter thing, right? What I was
It is
talking.
something like Srinath, it is something like in one project, whatever activities you have, you will enter into the database in one column, all the activity names. So when you search for any activity like this, you will get whatever all the activities with that name, you will get a list.
Yeah, if you want to save the activity names, yes, you can actually use this for anything. Yeah, right? You can use this. Maybe see, we have created a big list, right? We have created a bigger list where we are showing so many fruits, so many countries and everything, right? So instead of that, don't create any list. Save the list in here and ask the user to type it. Let's say if he types some app, right, he'll get all the list of details he want, right? So maybe you can directly go and select that. Right?
Okay.
Now,
there is no need to add all these items to the list again. We can take that list from there and give it that list here.
yes. You can actually create list dynamically. Yes, you can do that.
In Spinner activity, you have created a list. That list we can use. The object of that list we can use it here, right?
Object of which list? The list viewer?
You have created a list view, a list, fruits list. Okay.
Yes, you can use that.
The name of the list.
Yes, you can use that. You can use that here. Yeah, you can use that. Right. Okay, and this threshold, right, is something. If I give some 2 here, right, let me run this. Now this is very important because see, if your data is so complex, right, then don't give threshold as 1, because typing on first character itself it will try to get all the details, right, and it is not that simple, right, because it has to get all the details in one shot, right. And what is threshold 2 is, when I click on here, right, it won't give data until unless I give the second character, right. When I give second character, then it will start search and it will give that, right. So that is threshold. Number of characters to enter in order to start search is threshold, right. So that is how you can actually create your autocomplete text views, right. So yeah, so that will be all for today.